Hi everyone, it's Justine. Every year, Pinterest publishes a report about the trends that they see growing on their website. It's fun to look into because it's what actual people, like you and me, have been searching on the platform. So you can't say, oh no, this is not a trend, certainly not, because it's based on actual figures, right? On worldwide search volumes, to be precise. You can, however, absolutely say, whoa, this is not a trend where I live. Certainly not. And that's where it gets interesting. Every year I do this video, and every year I stumble across things and trends and keywords that I had not noticed, that are absolutely not trending where I am, which is Germany. And it makes me think. So I hope that in this video you will find inspiration, just like I did while preparing and researching for it. As every year, I build boards of these trends on my own Pinterest account, which is here. You're welcome to have a look in there and keep the pins that you like for your own boards. The first trend has to do with moving away from binary gender considerations. You see that very clearly. It's extremely visible in fashion. Unisex brands are sprouting up like mushrooms, especially when you look at street style labels. Same thing for organic labels, which is a different category for it finds inspiration somewhere else, but they're also creating campaigns where you see couples wearing the same cut of t-shirts, or they will write that this t-shirt is a unisex fit, or they will use the same size table for men and women. And let's be honest, measuring men's necks to determine their suit sizes was not a very good system anyway. Non-binary looks are also more and more common in show business, starting with K-pop brands typically, like BTS, whose fame really radiates way beyond the borders of their own country. They cultivate an androgynous look, which includes the outfit, of course, but also the hairstyle and the makeup. Men wearing makeup, generally speaking, isn't a rare thing anymore. And if you think about it, when getting ready for women involves putting on some makeup, why couldn't we expect or accept the same thing for men? So, what are people exactly searching on Pinterest? Androgynous wedding dresses. Tuxedo dress, a remarkable one by the way, was designed by the designer Christian Siriano for the Academy Awards last year. It was worn by Billy Porter, and since then both mass market brands and fast fashion brands have picked up on that trend. Then gender neutral haircut, not just for long hair, for short hair, for men. As if that was one single category. It's decidedly more something in between that blurs the lines a little bit, and I find that quite refreshing. Then come words that I'm personally very happy about, if I may put a bit of my own opinion in this report. Lists of gender neutral names for a future baby. Unisex gender neutral kids clothes. I like that because I'm from France, and in France, little girls are supposed to wear pink and little boys blue. There are pre-decided lists of toys that are appropriate to gift little girls versus toys for little boys. There are unspoken rules about how you're supposed to educate your child based on his or her gender. And I find that difficult. When a friend of mine got a baby and I went to buy a teddy bear for the child, the salesperson asked me, well, we have many different colors. Is it a boy or a girl? And I thought, it's a teddy bear. Why does the color matter? And I don't want pink and I don't want blue anyway. To put things into perspective, in previous centuries in France, when we still had kings, male royal children would wear pink, not blue, because pink was the softer color made from red, and red was the color of the kings. So I don't really know when that switched and why we are currently obsessed with little girls having to wear pink. But I digress here. Let's come back to the Pinterest reports. The next booming trend is about a more conscious consumption and living style. My Instagram feed right now is full of posts where you can tell that the people posting are starting to question the way they live their lives and whether they can make their lifestyle more sustainable on all levels, I would say. For example, low-waste lifestyle is a growing search term. You can also find many tutorials on YouTube dealing with how to get closer to zero waste in your bathroom or in your kitchen, typically. Eco-friendly swaps means replacing a consumption item, a disposable item, by a more sustainable option. For instance, replacing cotton makeup removing pads by a washable cloth. how to make your own deodorant instead of buying a chemical one and then throw away the plastic packaging. If you're new to this topic of conscious living and zero waste in particular, do have a look at my Pinterest board, because in there I gathered super insightful blog posts on how to get you started, how-to tutorials, etc., as well as lists of brands that are either super sustainable or even already zero waste. This sustainable consumption trend is also absolutely influencing the fashion industry. People look for low-waste wedding, thrifted wedding dress, because it's a fair point, right? Why put so much money into a garment that you will only wear once? Secondhand fashion is another one. And thrift stores who are active on Instagram should definitely also share their photos on Pinterest, because there people really are looking for inspiration before they consider actually buying something. Thrift store crafts that are trending include, for instance, how to repurpose an old dresser by painting it, how to repurpose an old straw basket, how to restore a ripped hat. It's good that we're learning this kind of skill again, and making things with your hands is super satisfying. Next trend, 90s revival. Tell me you didn't see that one coming. We know this is a current trend, but the fun thing here is to look at which elements are reappearing today from that decade. And I'd like to ask you a question here before moving on. Please pause this video if you remember the 90s the first time around, and tell me in the comments what for you was typical of that decade. What do you remember? In my case, that would be the Spice Girls, all the boys bands, a mix of them. They were all pretty similar in the end. Buffalo shoes. Na 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 na. Right? So what is your thing from the 90s? Now let's see what is making the cut on Pinterest. Hair scrunchie. I would question whether that's the most important thing to remember from the 90s, but okay. Then we have hair clips 90s, where I think, okay, maybe I'm just wrong, and that was actually all about hair. Then comes the word Y2K outfits, and I had to look up what that actually means. At the end of the 90s, they were new technical fabrics used very often in monochromatic looks that looked super futuristic. Think of these huge curved sunglasses out of science fiction movies, rubber, reinvented vinyl, Gore-Tex, this kind of thing. An obsession for the coming year 2000 problem, year 2K, Y2K, that's where the name is coming from, when people thought that all computers would stop working on December 31st. Remember that? And at the end of the 90s, we also saw the rise of huge logos. Prada, Gucci monograms printed all over, Vans, and all the skateboard brands. Look at the brand Supreme today. Their concept is the same, right? It's one huge logo, red and white. It's very 90s inspired in the end. And now that I know what Y2K actually means, I'm thinking it can very well be the rooting inspiration behind camp. Camp was the theme of last year's Met Gala, Metropolitan Museum Gala in New York. I do a video about this every year, reviewing who is best dressed based on the theme. And in that video, which I link here and down below, I'm explaining also what camp means, because it's a complex concept. But currently, I feel like that's a major theme influencing pop culture. And to conclude this 90s revival, we have the buzzwords hip-hop, streetwear, and grunge fashion. That's no surprise, because they all were major cultural developments, and you'll go down the rabbit hole if you type these words in, because the amount of pins is endless. Really fun. I also wanted to share some bonus trends that have nothing to do with fashion, actually, but that looked really pretty. And if you enjoy beautiful pins, you can have a look at these ones as well. French antiques, Spanish-style bathrooms, and then my two favorite ones, Australian garden landscaping. You'd be surprised what comes up when you type in that word. And bring outdoors inside. And these two made me very curious, because if you think about it, the next logical step after wanting to live a more conscious, environmentally friendly lifestyle is to want to bring more nature into your daily environment as well. And that means into your home. It makes so much sense. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments which words you're going to start pinning about now after watching this. If you want more inspiration from Pinterest, I did the same video last year and the trends were completely different. I will link that video here as well as down below in the description. And I will add another one in here and there as well about trends, but this time from the runways. It's a completely different source of inspiration, but I feel like taking inspiration from different sources makes it more holistic and more elevated. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel before you go watch something else. And I also want to address a special thank you to every one of you who helps translate my videos by contributing subtitles in all possible languages. You guys are amazing because that helps make the videos accessible to more people all around the world. So thank you very much for your help. I will see you soon in a new video, and until then, take care. Bye.